going to get into the thing that everybody wants to hear about. That is the local hour of this show, which is I feel like a lot of our listeners, watchers are Chicagoans, Chicago sports fans, and it was a crazy week. And by the way, before I get to that, I was laughing because Damien said, uh, I didn't know anybody is involved. I'm like, nigga, you just called me Hollywood yesterday because I sent you a text, a tweet to my text yesterday. But anyway, I digress. We can go to the full layout, by the way, Dante. I'm not gonna do a sound off, but I'm gonna give y'all a play-by-play of what happened of my day at Halas Hall on Wednesday. Then of course we'll get y'all opinions on it because I think y'all been hearing me talk a lot. But by the way, in the national hour, Courtney will be joining us. So I took the long drive up to Lake Forest on Wednesday, which is usually about an hour and a half in the morning. So I usually leave out the crib around 8:30, get there around 10 sometimes. So it was calm, regular day. Wasn't no police presence, nothing. I pull up to the parking lot blasting that No Way Out album because I've been playing a lot of Puff lately because the Love album is amazing, by the way. I would not stop listening to that album.
Real R&B.
Real R&B, real rhythm and blues.
Told y'all.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
Hey, you
Insider
called it.
Bang told us months ago, almost a year ago. Honestly, we won't be real about it. It was almost a year ago. So smooth day going in there, and like I told Kaz earlier, like the thing that kind of my antennas went off is when we talked to Justin first. We usually talk to Coach. He comes up there, talk to us like we the feds. Then Justin comes up and does the same thing. So once Justin said the coaching thing, I looked around like, oh, this is really happening. And he just kept going and kept going and kept going. So after that, Flus came up and we brought the comments up to him like media members should. And he had like a shocked look on his face, which is funny because Flukes doesn't really show what he's feeling, but you can see it caught him off guard and he knew nothing about what Justin said. And he played it off as well as he could play it off. But then we started getting rumors. People started texting me what's going on with Alan Williams. I knew something was fishy when we word by word asked Flukes, is Alan Williams still the defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears? And he basically pled the fifth like Dave Chappelle on that Tron skit. And I was like, oh, something's up. And then I tweeted after the press conference, don't quote me, but I think he's fired. So I wasn't too far off on my prediction of what happened. And then you get all these other rumors, FBI broke into Halas, FBI broke into Alan Williams' house. And shout out my man Herb Howard. Herb was on here a couple weeks ago. Herb's desk is right next to mine. I was like, you know what they saying on Twitter? They telling me it was a raid, dog. I ain't seen no FBI, and we both just started dying laughing. So all this is going on, and this is when the things got weirder. Practice started late. Practice started about 10, 15 minutes late. They usually come get us. We go to practice. We watch the part of practice that we can watch, and then we go and we wait for practice to end so we can go to the locker room. Practice started late. Not only did practice start late, nobody came to get us. So that was another antenna that went off. So after practice is over, we go to the locker room. First thing we go in there, they're like, yo, Justin wants to speak to y'all. And Justin did that video, which I recorded. I'm gonna give myself some credit. Very good timing by me, by the way. I had my phone out. Some shout out. I had a couple people DM me, said they saw me on ESPN this week. I'm like, thank you, but why didn't you record it? I could have posted that up, but I appreciate you letting me know. Shout out to NBC Sportsnet Chicago for using my video and actually giving me credit on football night in Chicago. So shout out to them. Shout out to everybody over there. But there's a couple things I want to say about this Justin second speaking to us. Number one, we did not misquote him. Now I know a lot of people, 79 Halas fans, call me and Joe members of the establishment that we joined the corporation.
Hey, congratulations.
I just
Welcome.
We did not misquote him, all right? And then he said, I know y'all doing stuff with clicks. Yes, we are. We are doing stuff with clicks because that's where the money comes in. So, yes, you making money your way, we make our money another way. So that was number one. Number two, this is clearly a call from upstairs. I don't think it was Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles wasn't even there on Wednesday. It was his birthday, which made things 1,000,000 times funnier. Because it was kind of like that this is fine gift for you. He out celebrating his birthday, and all this is going on in his job. I think Big Kev Warren put the call down. Like Bang has been saying he needs to do for weeks. And that's what I think happened because Justin was very very looked like he had a conversation with somebody. And so my whole take on it, and then you have that, and then we know then Alan Williams actually resigns. When I'm on my way home, I had to literally turn my phone off because wouldn't nobody keep. What happened? Is it this? I'm not gonna tell you all the things that people thought it was. This irresponsible. This is some session I would, but
some of them shits was wild.
It was very, very wild stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very wild allegations. And I will say this. While I personally do not buy that it's health related, I do not buy that whatsoever because I feel like if it was, there wouldn't have been such of the defense players sounded like they're a little angry, like they're caught off guard. The coaching staff, defensive coaching staff is completely caught off guard. And this is what stood out to me, that if it was health, it would have been a little different. He put out a press release. It was very glowing, gave the Bears a lot of love, said he plans to coach again. The Bears put out one sentence.
This nigga don't work here.
Defensive coordinator Alan Williams. Nothing about we hope he gets better. We hope whatever family situation he's going through gets taken care of. So to me, it's something that is not health, but it's not illegal. If it was anything illegal, we'd have heard. If it was an FBI raid, there's no way we'd be on day 3 and we heard nothing about it. Ain't no FBI raid going on the low like that. Chicago police would have made a statement if it was police something. So it's nothing to that effect. I don't know what it was. And then you have today. People that stole $100,000 worth of stuff from Soldier Field. The text message that Aaron Rodgers sent Jordan Love. It's just been a crazy day in like the reality show world that is Chicago Bears. And to make all this worse, they have to play Patrick Mahomes in like 72 hours. It's gonna get worse. So that was my personal account of being there. It was wild. The most wild day I've had covering a sports team. Only thing that was close to that, really not even close to that, but even one that kind of reminded me of that was actually being with Kyrie Irving when Kevin Durant got traded. Shout out my man Thomas. Shout out HNB Media. Thomas immediately was like, "What you think about KD getting traded?" And Kyrie like, "Nigga, can we talk about the game?" So
damn, nigga.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
So those like the 2 wildest days I've had in sports media, man. But what's y'all thoughts on everything that's been going on?
My thoughts was glad it ain't the Cowboys, because usually we be first on the docket every day.
Cowboy stuff
for
ESPN.
Real. So when y'all don't be worried about us, I be loving it. Like, but this shit that happened the past week for y'all it was just every day there was something. Like, you knew stuff was getting bad when, like, at the start of the season, it was already talking about Justin. The hype was coming into the season about y'all. First game got smoked by the Packers, so it's like, nigga, what the fuck is this? And then last week, Baker looking like Jesus on y'all. Then I see all these videos where it just shows bad plays. And I follow all y'all niggas for years. I've never seen this much Bears content from non-Bears people.
Yeah.
Every single day. Like, I've never seen that. So that's how I know, like, this shit was going bad. And then, like, this week was just, that shit was crazy. Like, niggas saying Peanut Tillman doing barrel rolls through the door.
Yeah, that was the funniest one. That was like the funniest one. That
Peanut Tillman. Like, the rumors just start going crazy. And it's like, what the fuck? So,
bro, they said Peanut Tillman knocked down the George Halas statue. They said Peanut Tillman knocked down the George Halas statue, stormed in the reception like it was the Benny Siegel field in the Ed video. There was so many funny things, man.
That nigga had the sniper like Tupac in the Natural Born Killers video.
But I mean, the shit just sad. Like you said, it's going from bad to worse. And it seems like on a weekly basis, we getting more and more into the terrible stories about what the Bears are doing up there at Halas. So, I mean, this reeks of, to me, we all remember when Dwight Howard and Stan Van Gundy had their little tiff in the media. Yep. And they did all that fake bullshit, and then Stan got fired like a couple of days later. Like, I really feel like the Bears are gonna get smoked on Sunday, and somebody's getting fired. Like, that's where we headed. Because at this point, it is a joke, like you said, for Poles to have to come back off his birthday to make a statement into the media, and you got everybody, wondering and putting all this BS out. And this is kind of one of those moments where, like, the media and media adjacent get confused because you got a lot of people who say shit and. Trust me, they're sitting at home watching the press conference on YouTube like you. They're not at Halas. They're not in the building.
Yeah.
They're able to shape it to make it seem like they're actually on the beat, but they're not. They're legit just at home watching shit, making assumptions. And so a lot of stuff get mixed up through that. But one thing we've said, like with the best teams and the teams that win championships, shit like this don't happen. So this is another example of why the Bears are where they are. This is the type of franchise they are. They've taken a lot of heat throughout the media, and I think the national media had, if anything, the national media blew it out of proportion more than the local media. The local media said exactly what it was, exactly what he was saying, and even gave him leeway to add that nuance in there. But the local media, like you said, most of these people don't watch the Bears. They don't watch every snap, and they just sit there and just come up with these storylines. This is what it's all about. So, but as far as what's going on in Halas, this shit is a joke, bro. So, like I said, I think on Sunday, somebody getting smoked and somebody losing their job. Like,
see, at one point, I think I texted Scott that I think the Bears are going to win just because of all this shit that's been going on this week. That just out the blue, them niggas going to steal a win from the Chiefs. But these niggas can't even work out. The shit got stolen, so niggas gonna be tired, and it might get ugly. I thought about putting some money on them, but
no, don't do that.
Nah,
I'm not gonna let you do that. Don't even do that. Bang, what you feeling, bro? Here it is. Is your mic on, brother? I don't think your mic.
Yo, my mic. I muted my mic because I was sending in the email, but I feel nothing. This is the worst. Like how what's my man name on The Office? He's like, this is the worst. Yeah, that's how I feel. This is the worst. This is something that's unprecedented for this team to have so much stuff go on in a week. It's just the third week of the season. Justin, the defensive coordinator, Braxton Jones being on IR. Kyler Gordon, even a week ago, Kyler Gordon being put on IR. Losing to Tampa Bay the way that they lost to Tampa Bay. Being lethargic is the best way of putting it, going up against Green Bay. Cutting Peterman because you're thinking you're about to get somebody off of the Panthers practice squad, only to not happen. So it's like, okay, let me go ahead and get Peterman back. That's what I heard. That's what happened with the Peterman thing. DJ Moore, I don't know if y'all saw it, but I think it was.
I saw that video. I played the video 10 times. I did not hear him say what.
Oh, he said it.
He said it.
Oh, okay. He said it. Yeah, he said it. Oh, they captioned it. This was on the Buccaneers and the NFL's IG page. It was the collab, IG collab, and that's why I first saw it. And I was like, ooh, okay. And then you also have Brisker liking that tweet from Stephen A. Smith.
Hey, Ben, what did DJ Moore say? I didn't see that.
Levante, I think it was Levante David. But he was saying how he missed basically tackling him because he's on Carolina, so they play twice a year. And then he said that he's like, man, they ain't even using you right. And he said, tell me about it. So we already know what that means right there. That's the second game, fam. Like, that is the second game. Now, mind you, you don't know when somebody mic'd up. And sometimes you just be saying shit just to say shit.
Yeah.
But it's week 2, and we already came off of the shit where he had 2 balls thrown to him, caught, take him off the field. And then he's getting the ball now, but Justin having issues getting him the ball, whatever we want to say about why those issues are. Patting the ball too much, holding on to the ball, all of that. But even those smaller things now become bigger things. Because in a regular time, we don't give a fuck that crackhead stole some damn lawnmowers out of Soldier Field. Do we? In the grand scheme of things,
I didn't even retweet it on Saturday Night Out. I just did not care.
Yeah. Do we give a shit that somebody stole some lawnmowers and some steel out of Soldier Field? No. Crackheads came up on a scheme and it worked. But when you have a week that the Bears have had, this is a big deal because your security allowed crackheads to steal some lawnmowers and some steel. That's how bad it is. That this right here could be even a story locally. Locally, we wouldn't have give a fuck about this shit. But look how we started off the week. That's how bad it's been. I had Scott on some dude yesterday, and I'll say it here. This is the worst week I've ever seen as a fan of the Bears. As long as I can remember.
Ever? There's a lot of bad weeks to choose from.
Something happens damn near every day.
Some embarrassing, like
I'm embarrassed. Damn near happen every day.
I asked a couple Bears media members who've been covering the team for like a decade longer, and I forgot who said it. I don't know if it was Dan Wiederer or somebody else. It was like the only thing that tops this is Tank Johnson bringing guns.
Like, but see, here's the thing: Tank Johnson brought the guns on a weekend.
Yeah,
if I can remember correctly, at Ice Bar. That was, come on, man. He brought some guns to a club where niggas at. Ooh, like when we was younger, it's like, what the fuck is he doing? Nigga, I'm 41 now. I understand why he brought guns to the Ice Bar.
Sam Hurd week?
Yes, because it was just Sam Hurd. Fam, it was literally something. It was like 5-6 things just on one day. Just on one day. And 3 of them shits we ain't even talk about. One of them was Braxton Jones, and that shit's probably more important than anything, because who the fuck gonna be the left tackle? Matter of fact, Scott, we don't even know, like, all that shit happened. We don't even know who's starting that left tackle for the Bears.
But this thing, this is
Scott, who's starting that left tackle for the Bears?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no idea.
One of the most important positions on the field. We don't even know who's starting in this shit, but we know some crackheads broke in the Soldier Field.
Yeah. It's this is my thing. Like the thing to me, and with the Braxton Jones thing, he's been huffing it out. There's been a lot of penalties, so I don't feel like that's gonna be that big of a thing to overcome. Because he's been huffed as it is. And so to me, the thing that I've been looking at more than anything is just like, when is it gonna stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like with this, like I came on some dude yesterday, and I was just saying how bad it's been for Chicago sports. You know what I'm saying? Like Kaz was naming all the stuff that's going on with New York sports. What is going right for Chicago sports? Even if you're a Cub fan, these niggas are free falling. They are tied. They are a half game from being out of the playoff race after the season they had. The White Sox, World Series ambitions, playoff ambitions, whatever you want to call it. Before Dante give me that look, playoff aspirations. Now they're like 40 games under 500. Have you seen them get into the Bulls schedule? They will be done by Christmas. There's nothing really to look forward to, and you got all this other stuff. Like you said, there's been so many national media talking about this situation who don't really know what they're talking about. But there's been a lot of truth in it too. Stephen A. Smith fight out coming out. Oh, the Bears are trash. At least I don't know why y'all looking at me. They trash. You know, Dan Orlovsky saying what he said about Justin Fields. Greeny, passionate rant on Justin Fields. Ocho Cinco, Shannon. Everybody's talking about this team. So you know that front office, that ownership at Halas Hall, if we're seeing this, they're seeing this. And then Ryan Poles came out that press conference yesterday and said nothing, and it was peak Bears for them to not stream the press conference. That's some Chicago Bulls, Chicago White Sox type stuff. Like when you're not even showing the press conference to the fans. He said nothing. And I think Ryan Poles is a good guy. I said when he got hired, let's not do the same thing we did with Ryan Pace, and y'all be crowning these GMs too early. And what the Bears fans do, they did the opposite of what I was saying. King Poles this, King Poles that. When he messed up the Larry Ogunjobi signing, I said, this is not the way you want to start your GM tenure. Bears fans call me anything but a child of God when that happened. Now look at what's going on. So it's just like it's mess from all angles. Now I want to talk about the actual Justin comments, because we can talk about everything else that's been going on, but the Justin situation is a real situation going on here. From what he said, my personal opinion on it, I don't think that he was wrong in what he said. And I honestly don't even think he went about it the wrong way, but I do understand the criticism of why people think that he might not have said it. I also think it was a lesson for Justin for thinking that we his friends. We not your friends. What you say, we gonna report. And so I don't know why he thought it was going to be any different. And he's a young player. He's not even 25 yet. You know, he's third in the league. He's in the biggest market ever. Like he's from Georgia, played Ohio State. Ohio State is a big college market, but this is Chicago. There's only one sports market that's bigger than Chicago, and that is New York City. This is the heat that comes with being the alleged franchise quarterback of this team on a franchise who's never had a great quarterback. When Jay Cutler is the best quarterback in the modern era, I don't want to hear about Sid Luckman. If you put a picture of Sid Luckman in front of me, I'm not gonna know who this dude is. And I can name the entire 1985 defensive line right now. I know everything about the Bears, but if you show me a picture of Sid Luckman, I don't know who Buddy is. Jay Cutler is the best quarterback in franchise history, and that tells you everything you know about this team. So to me, Justin got a lesson, and I liked what Justin said. But at the end of the day, that ain't got nothing to do with actual playing on the field. He can say all the cool stuff he want, but and I think it's a mixture. I think Getsy and Flus aren't the best coaches, and that's actually being nice because they're going on a 13-game losing streak. But Justin got to get the ball out better. Justin got a lot of stuff better than what he's been doing. So I think it's a 50-50 deal. What do y'all specifically think about Justin's comments and how you think that can translate on the field to whether Sunday and really for the rest of the season?
I'll
I just
start this
think
off
that.
by saying,
Go ahead.
let me start this off. Because it's just gonna be real quick. I don't give a fuck because at the end, it took me a week to get to this point because at the end of the day, he right. Yeah, it's some shit that you don't want to say, but he confirmed what everybody knew that, and we're not even in the rooms, and we could see that dude's being overcoached, right? And we see what Gessie is doing. So should he have said it? Nah. But I will be the glass half full guy. Yeah, we gonna get our ass whooped against the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think the Denver game is where we see what this team is made of. That's where we're gonna see it. Because the thing about it is that it's sink or swim for everybody. So I don't think he should have let it out. I think it was just a slip. I don't think he meant to shit on anybody. And unless Scott tells me differently, I don't think the relationship between Justin and the coaches on the team are bad at all.
I don't think that's the case.
Right. I think he just tweaked and saying and didn't say how exactly he wanted to say it. Because I don't really believe he went up in there to shit on them coaches. Yeah. But at the same time, it should be a wake-up call to them coaches to say, look, our quarterback needs help. And that's what Nagy didn't do. And that's what we've had other coaches for the Bears didn't do. And that's not really necessarily help out their quarterback. This is the same team that, if you old enough to remember, had the Jim Harbaugh, Mike Tomczak controversy. This is the same team, if you can remember. Right. This is the same team, if you can remember, was like, fuck it, we gonna start Doug Flutie in the playoffs. This is the same team that thought they was going back-to-back, but the Green Bay Packers fucked up their quarterback and shit, and we was fucked in the playoffs. Like, so this is nothing new to this team. I think it should be a wake-up call to the coaches, but to me it still revolves around Kevin Warren and how he has to show the public that this is his organization now.
Yeah, I'll be quick because I'm not as invested in the Bears as y'all. So what I saw was just like Justin Fields. It was a learning lesson. I think he was trying to give like good answers, but he just talked too damn much. And the more he was talking, he was just saying stuff that he don't need to be saying. I think that's why, like, when he came back for the second one, he said that, I was just trying to give, the reporters good answers, and I shouldn't have said what I said, stuff like that. So I think he just learned, like you said, Scott, like, you don't have to be buddy with the media, or you don't have to give them all these good answers. You could just keep it short, we're working every day, blah, blah, blah. If you got to give the basic cliche answers to not throw your coach under the bus and start this firestorm that you started this day, because like you said, even though he didn't mean what he said, he thinks it, because if he wasn't thinking it, it wouldn't have came out. I do believe he's getting overcoached, and I do believe he's overthinking it when he's on the field. I think the coaching staff is trying to put a round peg in the square box with this play calling, and I just don't understand how teams can have a Ferrari. I know y'all said all this stuff throughout the week, but you got a dude that's more unique than any quarterback in this franchise's history.
Yeah.
But you want him to play like all these old ass quarterbacks of the past with that y'all weren't successful with. It's time to make a change, and I think the coaching staff and everybody is just too stubborn to admit that. But that's all I got regarding y'all. Y'all stink.
Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I mean, Justin didn't say anything wrong, and I appreciate him trying to give an honest answer. But I don't like when you come back and try to walk it back. Like, it is what it is. You know, I understand it's a business, and you are the face of the franchise, so I know why he did it. And like you said, he probably did get nudged. Say, hey, bro, go clear that up. You see what they're saying. But at the end of the day, I'm with JR. It's like I just don't give a fuck no more. Like either we good or we bad. Like it's too much. We don't have time for all the extra shit. And I think, you know, as far as Brisker and him liking the tweet, he said he did it for motivation, and I could see that. But at the same time, Stephen A. wasn't wrong. Like everything we've seen with this franchise has been ineptitude. It's been, you know, just pure chaos most of the time. And you know, as much as we talk about the Bears, I say this all the time. So I'm sick and tired of talking about 1985. Like, no disrespect to anybody y'all know, and you know, I know we got some people we cool and affiliated with who have connections to 85. But like, I'm sick of, like, when I tell people down here, like, yo, fuck the 85 Bears. Like, please don't talk to me about that. Like, it's time to go get past that. But you know, this franchise is still stuck in its ways and stuck in its own way in a lot of ways. So this was just another example of that. So hopefully with Justin, like I said, you know, hopefully he does, you know, go out there and play his way and play free and play loose like he claims. But I mean, enough is enough. I'm tired of talking about it. I want to see something. Like, I want to see a successful football team. I done seen enough of this shit in my lifetime.
Hey, I'll say this. If them niggas go 14 points on Sunday, that's a success.
14? 14.
Yeah.
That would be their lowest scoring total of the season. 14?
Nigga, I got them losing 50. Look, I got them losing 51-3, my G, and I'm dead serious. It's not a joke.
3? Okay,
yes.
that's
fam.
3?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question again, Scott. Who's the left tackle?
I don't know. I don't
Larry
know. It's probably going to be Larry Bourne. Either it's going to be Larry Bourne or they're going to move Darnell Wright to left tackle.
Tevin gone. We don't know who going to be the left tackle. We got a rookie at right tackle. Chris Jones hungry.
I mean, look,
Chris Jones 4 sacks.
That I can believe. 100% I can believe that. 100%. That's not.
So how the fuck? So how you surprised and not say 14?
I'm not surprised at 55 or what the Chiefs have put up offensively. They're gonna score more than 14 points. They did not score 14 points. To be fair, the Green Bay Packers defense is a lot better than the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and they put up more points than they did 14.
Bet your bottom.
So I don't financially have the terms right now to do that, but if I did, I would. I will say this: we're about 10 minutes away from the national hour. Courtney will be joining us. We'll get over non-Bear stuff. We're gonna talk about the actual week 3 and everything going on with that in about 10 minutes. But I want to get into the actual game. So I'm gonna start off with this. I think they'll score more than 14 points. This is what I consider a good game for the Bears. If they can keep this. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I think they're going to get wiped off the map. And not only are we going to get wiped, it's going to be embarrassing. I think we're going to have Matt Nagy's going to use some of the play calls that didn't work with us, and they're going to work on the Bears.
This is a Matt Nagy game. Oh, nigga, we lose a
Matt Nagy game.
51-3.
It's going to be I know, Damien, I know you got to bounce. Yeah. So before you can go ahead and tell everybody, you know, what's going on with you, you know, where they can follow you and things of that nature.
Y'all go follow the newly sanitized Velvet Jones account.
Newly sanitized.
That's at I_Velvet Jones. Gonna be a lot of WNBA talk, so y'all just deal with it. And yeah, just hit me up. I'm glad to be on. I'll try to get on more often when I get a chance.
Definitely, bro. Always good to have you on, my
G. All right, bro. Y'all take care. All right.
Yes, sir. So like I was saying on this, this is the Matt Nagy game. This is the Matt Nagy game. Matt Nagy's the offensive coordinator, and I don't know if y'all saw Matt Nagy's comments the other day. Like he was talking like with absolutely no self awareness about how to help develop a young quarterback, and I was like, huh. I did the Doug Heffernan mixed with the George Costanza. Where do you get the ego? So, but the
Oh
Bears have
man.
so many other things to be upset about that really wasn't a thing to me. But I think that Matt Nagy is going to be petty. I think Matt Nagy is going to use a lot of players to work with the Bears, but it's going to work with the Chiefs because he has better personnel with him. I think he's going to do the little stupid dink pass that he does to the tight end, which he likes to use a lot. I think you're going to see Pat throw to offensive linemen. I think you're going to see all the with the Santa sleigh. What's all the crappy Matt Nagy players we saw for them 3 years he was here, however long he was here. You're gonna see that. You're gonna get that in full effect. But this is to me will be a win if they can somehow keep this game under 14 points. That's a win. Now I am not saying that is gonna happen. I'm gonna give my final score in a minute. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but if they can keep it under 14 points, that is a win. If Justin can go out there and actually play well, then that's a win too. I think that there's plays to be made on the secondary. Now we still have questions about the offensive line. I understand Chris Jones is hungry. I get that, and I really feel like the Chiefs are going to come out here and try to make a statement. Because you look in the first 2 weeks, they haven't looked like the Kansas City Chiefs Bowl. Only 20 points in that first game against Detroit. Only 17 last week against Jacksonville. Even though they did have Travis Kelce back, so I think they're going to try to make a statement. But if the offense can show anything, if Luke Getsy can keep it simple, not run a screenplay back to back in your own end zone, if he can do stuff like that, if Justin can get the ball out quicker, I never thought I'd say this. Justin Fields need to go watching Brock Purdy tape. Did you see how he was flinging that ball quick last night? Quick, quick, quick. Trusting his receivers, quick. That's what we need to see from Justin Fields. To me, that's the biggest problem more than anything. I feel like he's holding on to the ball, and that's not whatever calls that Luke Getsy's calling. That's on him. That's why I think it's a 50-50 deal. It's on Justin just as much as it is on Getsy. I want to see him run some more. I want to see Roschon Johnson. It blows my mind that last year this was the number one rushing team in football, and now you're not rushing the ball at all. Like you're not having Justin run. You're not letting Khalil Herbert and Roschon run. Roschon had a 30-yard gain last week, and he just never touched the football ever again for the rest of the game. You have to do that. You have to stop being in these 3rd and 8s, these 3rd and longs. You got to stop doing that. Stop putting yourself in that position, because when you get down to Arrowhead, it gets loud. Allegedly, from what I heard, I'll know more on Sunday, but it gets loud. So they need to be able to go out there, set the tempo, and just do whatever they want to do. Nobody expects them to win. They're like 3 touchdown underdogs right now. Just let it hang. Do what you got to do, and if they can score some points and keep it under 14, and then you go into that Denver game against a team that's probably going to be on 3 as well, then you can give yourself some type of momentum. Now I'm going to repeat this again. I do not think this will happen. I don't think this will happen at all. But I think that's the best way to somewhat feel any type of good feelings after Sunday.
The Bears are getting smoked on Sunday. The idea of good feelings or any of that, like it all sounds good in theory, but no, I think the rubber meets the road on Sunday. I think you do have. I think Justin's gonna play better. I think part of that is gonna be a result of him more so doing his own thing as far as he's leaving the pocket. Like we've said for weeks, he's not gonna go just full Willie Beeman and start calling his own plays. Like as much as that's what the calls from the crowd have been, that's not gonna happen. We know that. So he's still gonna have to adhere to that playbook and some of those plays. Another thing we've seen that's been consistent throughout the week is, like we said, it's some of his own Justin as well. But people have called out the playbook and how trash the plays are, and you got receivers running to the same spaces. And Kurt Warner was the latest one to release a video. It was saying, he had a guy open, but when you got people inhibiting the same space, sometimes that makes it harder on a quarterback. So that's not going to change over a week. Like the playbook is still the playbook. So like as much as we want to see them be better, do better, as far as I'm concerned, the best way for them to come out of Kansas City with any type of positive mentality, any type of positive attitude, something good to take from it, is if you don't get that 51-3 score that Bang been talking about. Like If you go down there and just get steamrolled, then yeah, it's ugly.
The Bears 7. Well, the Buccaneers were 7 for 11 on third downs last week.
Yeah.
7 for 11. That's bad. We could talk all we want to about Justin and stuff, but the defense allowed 7 third downs out of 11 tries. And they was just as terrible against Green Bay. I'd be shocked if Kansas City punt.
That's real. That's
funny.
real.
That's funny because it's
Yeah.
actually highly possible.
It's gonna be like that Philly game a couple years ago with Buddy from
You talking about
Canada
2013?
when we got
No, you talking about
smoked. When Mel Tucker was the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, when they had a chance to clinch the division, when they got smoked, and then the next week was 4th and 8, and they lost to Green Bay.
No, not that year. I'm talking about the year.
You talking about 2017?
Yeah, when we were just
When
trash.
they was doing the
when they get the
dancing
electric
electric
slide.
slide.
yeah, it's gonna get ugly.
The fact that I
It's
knew of
gonna get
another
ugly.
Philly beat down tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, because Merk, it was we had that we had a Christmas thing at Complex, and Merk was looking at me crazy all that night because he had the game on, and I was like, "What the fuck, man?" I was real cussing. I was very upset because the Bears was getting their ass shellacked, as they would say. But yeah, third downs is going to be the key. They have not been able to bring Jordan Love or Baker Mayfield to the sidelines on third down. What make us think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be any different? It's Patrick fucking Mahomes. And that's why I'm picking a blowout of epic proportions, mainly because of third down.
Yeah, they have the lowest third down stop percentage in the NFL so far. And I also think too is they brought this up. I don't know what show it was. Do you think that Patrick Mahomes is going to take it out on the Bears every time because they didn't draft him, even though this is a completely different regime? I think he's that petty. After watching him on quarterback, he's a sicko. He has that greatness, crazy gene. I didn't know he had till I watched quarterback. I believe he's still mad about that, and I think he's going. I think they're going out there with a point to prove. Like if we go ahead.
Did you see? And I meant to send this to you. But did you see the old Bears director, player personnel? I forgot buddy's name, but they was talking about Patrick Mahomes, Mitchell. I forgot his name. Okay. Josh something, but they was talking about Patrick Mahomes, Mitchell Trubisky, and Deshaun Watson. They said that Mitchell Trubisky had a slighter rating than Patrick Mahomes. And Deshaun Watson was much lower in the ranking. So either way it go, that's who the fuck we was gonna get, right? But they had Patrick Mahomes thinking that he was gonna be the guy at number one. But then at the same time, they said that they asked him. I think it was Waddle who asked him, do they believe? Like people say that Patrick Mahomes would not be Patrick Mahomes if he was with the Bears, and he said nope. He's a generational talent. So the one thing that I wish that, and I didn't see the whole interview, but the one thing that I hope that Waddle or Sylvie asked Buddy is if you thought that Pat Mahomes was a generational talent, the fuck did you think that Mitchell Trubisky was? If you knew then, if you knew then that he was a generational talent, did you think Mitchell Trubisky was that too?
Yeah.
That right there, that's the ineptitude of the last regime. This one is totally fucking different. And it just shows so in knowing that, and knowing what you just said, how he's a sicko, and knowing what I just told you right there, that they felt like he was a generational talent, but they drafted Mitchell Trubisky, which means that they thought that he was a more of a generational talent, right? They end up firing Matt Nagy too.
Yeah.
So Patrick Mahomes is sitting up there like, y'all didn't draft me. Y'all drafted Mitchell Trubisky. Y'all hired my mans, fired my mans. Now he back here. Generational ass whooping, y'all.
We're gonna transition in just a second. Courtney's here. We're gonna bring her in just 1 second. We're gonna give score predictions since we all three of us think we're gonna get blown out. I just hope they have some Kansas City barbecue in the press room. That's all I want. I've been searching Patrick Mahomes rap bars to put on my Instagram on field caption on Sunday. That's all I've been looking at for this weekend. But my score, I'm going Kansas City Chiefs 55, Chicago Bears 21. I do think they'll punt, but they're only going to punt one time. And also Nate Davis is questionable because obviously he hasn't really been practicing because of his situation. Oh, no type of remorse over here from from Dante.
I'm sick of this shit, bro. My score is 42 to 17. Kansas City.
Also, Eddie Jackson probably not gonna play. He's doubtful with that foot injury. So yeah. So you got 42 to 17?
42 to 17.
Okay. What you got, man?
51-3.
51-3. Ooh, Lord have mercy. So that's all we have